How to prepare for a second interview. A second interview is a great sign that the company is interested in you and wants to learn more about you. It is also an opportunity for you to ask more questions and to clarify any points that were made unclear in the first interview. In this video, I'm going to share with you some tips to help you prepare for your second interview. Before I do so, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to my videos, subscribe to my channel, and ring on the bell so you don't miss any episode. Every week, I prepare a video just for you, just like this one, with motivational insight and content to help you in your self development, in your career, and in your personal life. So now let's jump right into some of those tips that will help you prepare for your second interview. Number one is let's review your notes from the first interview. What were the most important questions that were asked in that interview? What were your answers? And what could you have improved on? So let's take a minute to think about those questions. First off, what questions were asked? There's a lot of questions that were asked about yourself, questions about your past, your career, where you're going forward, and why you want to work for this organization. That is just a few. What were your answers? How did you answer those questions? Review what you said, just in case you need to clarify a little bit further in the second interview. And what could you have improved on? Basically means if you can go back and make a clarification statement or emphasize in something that you said that was not made necessarily clear, or you didn't add enough highlights like you should have, this is your opportunity to do so. All right. The next tip is research the company and the position further. I am 100% sure that before you did the application and you submitted your resume, you did a fair research about the organization to make sure that's a company that you want to work for. But going into the second interview, you want to research the organization and the position further. What have you learned since the first interview? Write that down. What new insights do you have? Things that you uncovered in your research, accomplishments about the company, things that you heard about the company on social media, new milestones the company has made public. There are so many things that you probably have discovered that might help you in the conversation and may help you at the very end of your interview when it's time for you to ask questions. The next step is think about your strengths and your weaknesses. What are you most proud of? What are you still working on? All of those are questions that you have to have extremely clear and present in your mind. Think about your strengths. Think about what you do extremely well. Also, think about your weaknesses. Why am I saying this? In the second interview, chances are you will be asked behavioral questions, and you need to be extremely clear about how you are going to rebuttal or how you're going to present answers in a positive way that will help you land this job. So you have to be extremely clear about your strengths, what you're doing well, what you have improved upon, your weaknesses, how you're managing those weaknesses. What are your accomplishments that you're most proud of? Think about the job that you had in the past, the one that you have today, and those accomplishments, not to live in the past, right? But you want to think about those accomplishments that you did so well and how that experience helped you into the task and the role that you're applying for today. How that can be of value to the organization. How can you present that value, what you have done so well in the past? How can you present that to the interviewer so they can see you and visualize you in the role that you're applying for? These are super important items that you have to have clear in your mind, and you have to have them saved in your mind, because chances are in the behavioral questions, they will come up and you have to be spot on when you answer them. So think about what are you most proud of and what are you still working on. If you're still working on something, make it very clear when the question is asked, I'm still working on this and this is what I'm doing to get better at this, or this is what I'm doing to accomplish X. The next one is prepare specific examples of skills and experience. For sure, those examples will help you answer behavioral questions that will be asked in the second interview. Be very specific, write them down, repeat them in your house when you're reviewing them, repeat them, read them over and over. So when the time comes and they ask you the question, your brain automatically will organize all those answers and you will be very successful answering those questions. All right. The next one is practice your answers to common interview questions. This will help you feel more confident and prepared. Some of those questions are tell me about yourself. Yes, that is part of the first interview. However, in the second interview, oftentimes there will be either a panel interview or a second person that will want to know about you. That person or a panel interview was not present in your first interview. Perhaps they don't have a recording of your previous interview, and they will ask you once again, tell me about yourself. That is the number one question asked in every interview. So that's one of the most common interview questions. Another one could be, why should I hire you? Why do you think you're a fit for this position or to the organization? So these are questions that are considered common interview questions that you need to be on your toes, ready and prepared to answer. The next tip is come up with questions to ask the interviewer. As you gain more knowledge about the company, as you go through the conversation in this interview, you're going to be jotting down some notes. Make sure that you come back and ask questions based on the conversation you're having with them in the interview, but also based on the research that you had prior to the interview. Make sure that you come prepared with questions. This shows that you are interested in the company and in the position. All right. The next one is dress professionally and arrive on time. Dress professionally, dress the part. If the position requires for you to dress in a suit and a tie, do exactly that. Dress the part. If the position requires for you to go in slacks and a polo shirt, do that. But just make sure that you always dress the part or a little bit higher and above of what the position entails. That really shows that you are serious about the position, you're serious about the interview. It gives a good sign to the interviewer about your professionalism. And also arrive on time. Give yourself at least 15 minutes prior to the interview and be there, be prepared. 10 to 15 minutes would be a good time for you to arrive, get yourself calm down, calm the nerves, and be prepared and wait until you're called to go into the interview. And now I'm going to share with you some additional tips to help you ace your second interview. The first tip is be enthusiastic, be excited, and engage about this opportunity in the second interview. Show the interviewer that you are excited about the opportunity and that you are a good fit for the company culture. When you're in that room, make sure that you show a big smile, you're interested about the position, you're engaged. As the person is speaking with you, you're nodding your head, you're looking at their eyes. Try to avoid daydreaming or be rehearsing what your answers are going to be. Pay attention, be an active listener, be enthusiastic, be in the moment, enjoy every second of that interview, as this is one of the greatest events in your life. It is, because this is a time for you to shine. This is you on stage. So it is showtime. It's time for you to be engaged, to be enthusiastic, and let that interviewer know that you really care for this interview and for the role. The next one is be prepared to answer tough questions. And many interviewers hide these questions until the very end. And you need to be prepared for this. Some of the questions that they may ask you are about your weaknesses. What is your salary expectation? What are the reasons for leaving the current company that you're with? So be prepared to answer these questions honestly and in confidence. And once the interview is done, follow up with a note, follow up with an email or with a card. Send a thank you note to the interviewer and reiterate that you are interested in the position. Do not leave more than 24 hours without saying thank you and following up with the interviewer. This really shows that you are interested and they will take you seriously for the next steps. By following these steps, you can increase your chances on your second interview process and also your chances to prepare for multiple second interviews. You don't want to stop in one second interview. You want to continue applying until you have an offer in front of you. Remember, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You may have multiple second interviews. The more you prepare, the better you get in the second interview process. I am wishing you the very best. So continue practicing, take notes, rehearse your notes, and you will be very successful in your second interview process. For now, I hope this video has resonated with you. I wish you much success in the interview process and in your job search. For now, be safe, be blessed, and I look forward to investing more time with you next week. Take care. God bless.